request you for your time to address the students in South India, sir.
Surely, sir. Hearty congratulations and
Thank you, sir.
all the very best as chairman of the Students
Sure.
Association. Very important.
Yes, sir. Yes.
How many students are there in SIRC as of
I
now?
think about 2 lakhs plus, sir.
Oh, huge number.
Yeah. And then we are having a lot of webinars going on now. We have a couple of sessions titled as Aspire to Aspire, Struggle to Pass, or people who have financial difficulty. We're still pursuing CA and then they qualified CA. Some of those CAs who have become civil servants, IAS, IPS, and all of them. So things like that. So we are trying to invite, we are talking to a couple of CAs who are in IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS. We are trying to locate some of them. So I surely should be doing something this month.
Very good. Very good.
So basically, they need to get inspired about the achievement these others have gotten.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can call good people who have done well in services or other places.
Correct.
Those of our members who are in, say, high positions. So.
Correct. In fact, there are some CAs as entrepreneur and lot of CAs in CFOs. We are also calling them once or twice in a month and taking some sort of an interview so that those who are listening get encouraged to look into it and qualify. We also are issuing a newsletter, sir. Monthly newsletter is also being published. Having a Google, we have a Telegram account, more than 7,000 students logged into that, and YouTube account, more than 25,000. So any communication happens, it's moving very fast. This being my 3rd year as a CICASA chairman, first 2 times it was only limited to Chennai.
Okay.
And now I feel CICASA is truly CICASA because we are having YouTube and reaching all over the South India.
It's important. I mean,
yeah. So that way I felt it was very exciting, at least this year, compared to first 2 years. As that was in 2009-10 once and 11-12 once. So I think this is much interesting in terms of technology being used effectively.
Right.
Ramana garu, Prasanna garu vastunara.
ఒక 5 minutes లో వస్తానన్నారు సార్ ఆయన.
సరే మరి మనం వెయిట్ చేద్దాం, టైం స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం
సార్. సంగలి ఇప్పుడు పెడతాను సార్, లింక్ వచ్చి మళ్ళీ పెడతాను సార్. అయితే ఒకసారి మీకు
Manoj, should we wait for Mr. Prasanna to join, sir? He'll be joining in about 5 minutes.
Sure.
We'll wait.
There he is.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Oh, he's come.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Prasanna garu.
Sir, Manoj sir, welcome to Andhra Pradesh, sir.
I'm visiting your 3 branches today.
Yes, sir.
And West Godavari, Rajamahendravaram,
Kakinada.
Yeah. They are very powerful districts in Andhra Pradesh, West and East Godavari districts. Very powerful people, sir.
West Godavari in particular, sir, was very keen on inviting you. It was during your tenure the branch was formed, so they are very keen that you come and address them.
Yes.
So they were very happy also when you accepted.
That's a pleasure for me, and virtually it is convenient now.
Yes.
Reach out better.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్. ప్రసన్న గారు
Good morning. Ramadar, good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir. Prasanna garu.
Sir, good morning.
Delhi Vizag, sir.
I came today morning from Delhi.
Okay.
Morning, there's a 5 o'clock flight this morning. I came to Visakhapatnam.
Okay.
Okay.
I recalled once I traveled from Delhi to Visakhapatnam, and it was an Air India Express.
Sir.
Smaller aircraft. Hyderabad.
Sir.
Is it direct now?
Yeah, we have direct flights now. We have around, now due to this pandemic, only 2 flights are there. Otherwise, daily we're having 3 or 4 flights, sir.
Oh, very good.
Delhi is well connected now.
సార్ ఒక 5 minutes లో స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం సార్.
Yeah, no issue. We leave it to the chairman. Whenever the chairman says yes, we are ready.
Recording stopped.
అందరూ కరోనాలో లేట్ గా లేవడం అలవాటు పడ్డారు సార్ చాలా మంది. కొంచెం
కరోనా గురించి కాదు బాబు, ఐటీ ఫార్మ్స్ కూడా లేవు కదా చైర్మన్ గారు.
మీ గురించి 5 minutes అయింది తొందర. హలో ఎవరండి?
Naresh, Hyderabad is fully open, you know?
Yeah, fully. There's
Fully open.
no restrictions now.
No restriction.
No restrictions.
Yeah. Delhi also no restriction. Delhi is fully open.
In West Godavari, our village is restricted up to 2 o'clock, sir. Tomorrow onwards.
I guess Mumbai has a lot of restrictions even now.
Yes, sir. Mumbai has got, sir.
ఏంటి 2 o'clock అండ్ రేపు నుంచి రవి ఏంటంటారు 2 o'clock
Tomorrow only మాకు జంగాడ నుంచి 2 o'clock up to 2 o'clock.
తర్వాత
10 days.
Okay.
Again restricted for 10 days only to up to 2 o'clock. Actually, government is given up to evening 6 o'clock, but chamber is decided to up to 2 o'clock because heavy cases are coming, sir. Still.
No, but I was worried if it's 2 o'clock, how can you hold the examination? So Yedur, no problem, you know, for holding the exam.
Yes, sir.
Then no push.
అంటే సార్ బస్సులు 4 గంటలకు క్లోజ్ సార్, అదో ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది అక్కడ. 4 గంటలకు క్లోజ్ బస్సులు
కాదు జంగాడ 2 o'clock అది కూడా బస్సు.
రైట్, ఇక్కడ వేలూరు కూడా 4 గంటలకు బస్సు క్లోజ్ అవుతుంది. ఎగ్జామ్ 5 o'clock అవుతుంది.
అవును.
కొంచెం ఇదైతే ప్రాబ్లం అయితే ఉంది సార్. మా ఊరి నుంచి వెళ్ళి రాసేవాళ్ళు కూడా ఉన్నారు యాక్చువల్ గా. మీరేదో అక్కడే ఏదో స్టే చూసుకోండి మరి అనేసి, కోవిడ్ ఇంట్లో పంపిస్తారంటాడు. కోవిడ్ కదా సార్, ఎక్కడ బయట స్టే వద్దన్నారు పేరెంట్స్ అంటాడు. స్టాఫ్ నేను ఫోన్ చేసి ఒక అతను ఆర్టికల్ మా స్టూడెంట్.
When peculiar circumstances prevail, you have to raise the occasion. So you cannot expect a normal life to be there, you know.
Yes, sir.
గారు కాకినాడ చైర్మన్ మాట్లాడారా? రాజమండ్రి కాకినాడ చైర్మన్.
రాజమండ్రి చైర్మన్ గారికి ఈ రోజు బ్యాంక్ ఎగ్జామ్ ఏదో ఇన్విజిలేషన్ ఉందంటండి ఆయనకి. ఆయన రాలేనన్నారు.
వాళ్ళ సెక్రటరీ అన్న రావచ్చుగా.
సెక్రటరీ వస్తున్నారండి ఆయన. యాక్చువల్ రాత్రి ఆయన తిరుపతి నుంచి వచ్చారు, పాప నైట్ వచ్చాడు ఆయన.
ఓకే, ఆయన
వస్తున్నారండి ఒకటే. కాకినాడ చైర్మన్ గారితో మాట్లాడాను, వాళ్ళు వస్తున్నారు.
అదే గంగారావు గారు అన్న రావచ్చు.
గంగారావు గారు జాయిన్ అయ్యారండి.
గంగాధర్ ఉంది.
గంగాధర్ గారు ఉన్నారు సార్. చెంగల్ రెడ్డి గారు వెల్కమ్ సార్. చెంగల్ రెడ్డి గారు వెల్కమ్.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్.
సార్ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ ప్రసన్న సార్.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ చెంగల్ రెడ్డి
సార్.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ చెంగల్ రెడ్డి.
Good morning, చెంగల్ రెడ్డి.
సార్ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్.
చైతన్య స్టార్ట్ చేద్దామా? ఒక 5 minutes చూద్దామా? ఎందుకంటే
స్టార్ట్ చేసేద్దాం.
చేద్దాం, వస్తాం. మనం అంతా స్టార్ట్ చేసే 5 నిమిషాలు వస్తారు.
స్టార్ట్ చేసేయండి.
On behalf of Godavari branch.
Recording in progress.
On behalf of Godavari branches of ICAI, West Godavari district branch, Rajamahendravaram branch, and Kakinada branch. Let me welcome you to the CPE meeting on Code of Ethics. We have NV Ramandrav, Chairman, Godavari branch, M1 Garu, Chairman, Rajamahendravaram branch, Kantipudi VV Satyanarayan Garu, Chairman, Kakinada branch, B. Brahmananda Rao, Secretary, Rajamahendravaram branch, B. Gangaram Garu, Vice Chairman and Secretary, Kakinada branch. Sorry, B. Brahmananda Rao Garu is Secretary of Rajamahendravaram. TBN Gangaram, Vice Chairman and Secretary, Kakinada branch, and the MC members of all the three branches. We have our chief guest and resource person, Manoj Fadnis, our past president, ICAI, for the year 15-16. We have another chief guest and resource person, Prasanna Kumar Garu, Central Council member. We have our guest of honor, NARESH GELLI Garu, SIRC member, Ex-officio West Godavari and Kakinada branches, and CICASA chairman also. We also have another guest of honor, CHENGAL REDDY Garu, SIRC member, Ex-officio Rajamahendravaram branch. Now let's start our meeting with our motto song. I request everyone to raise for our institute motto song. Now I request the chairman of West Godavari District Branch, NV Ramandrav Garu, to address the gathering.
Good morning, one and all. Who present here in the Zoom meeting? I am extremely honored and feel privileged to have given this opportunity to address everyone this combined CPE seminar along with Kakinada and Rajamahendravaram branches. Before introducing today's chief guest and resource person, I want to share a memorable event with the permission of Rajamahendravaram and Kakinada branches. Our branch is very younger branch in SIRC, which was awarded on 14th August 2015 with the golden hands of CA Manoj Fadnis, who is the president of ICAI in 2015 and 16. Who is the today's resource person? We are very much thankful to you, sir. We are welcoming you to our branch. During this digital platform, we are inviting you only in this digital way, sir. Thank you, sir. We are very much happy, sir, for accepting as a resource person of today's Zoom meeting. Every person must have good conduct and ethics. Our land, well known as Veda Bhumi, Dharma Bhumi. Our ancestors follows Dharma with ethics. The ethical standards are very essential, especially for professional people like our chartered accountants. Our institute has framed ethical standards and it is updating timely as the changes necessary when it is required. This is the mandatory for every chartered accountant. And another resource person, CA Prasanna Kumar Garu, who is a Central Council member and great knowledge regarding all these issues. He is well-known personality to our entire fraternity of these two Telugu states, Telangana and Andhra, and not required any special introduction to you, sir. Thank you very much for both of you, sir, for accepting our request as resource persons of today's seminar. First, Manoj Fadnis Garu explaining about Schedule 2 for 2 hours, and after Prasanna Garu takes Schedule 1 for 1 hour. Once again, thank you, sir. And also welcoming you today's guest of honor, NARESH Chandra GELLI Garu, who is the ex-officio of West Godavari and Kakinada branches and CICASA chairman, and is the dream model of the students now this year also. And another guest of honor, CR CHENGAL Reddy Garu, is the main person to propose this meeting and behind today's meeting. And I am also very thankful to the managing committee of Rajamahendravaram Branch and Kakinada Branch for accepting as co-sponsor of this program. I am welcoming you, all my CA fraternity. We are participating in this meeting. Now, I am handed over to our secretary Ramana Chaitanya to continue this meeting. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, mana M. Mohan garu unnarandi, Chairman Rajamahendravaram.
Chaitanya garu, sir, before this, I want to tell one more thing, sir. So before awarded our West Godavari branch, we have to memorize one more person, sir. He is CA Devaraj Reddy Garu, who is the vice chairman of our ICAI at that time, sir. He is also very interested to form our branch in Eluru, sir. We are also thankful to you, sir, Devaraj Reddy Garu. Thank you, sir. Chaitanya.
Thank you, sir. Sir, mana M. Mohan garu Chairman Rajamahendravaram Branch.
Mohan garu raadandi roju.
Sir, Satyanarayan garu unnarandi, Chairman Kakinada Branch.
Vice Chairman Gangaram garu unnaru.
Vice Chairman and Secretary Gangaram garu maatladamalatte.
Now I request CA CVN Gangaram garu, Vice Chairman and Secretary, Kakinada Branch, to address the gathering. Sir, kindly. Sir, మీ మైక్ ఆఫ్ లో ఉందండి.
లేదు గంగారాం గారు
ఉన్నారు కానీ మైక్ ఇది ఏం వీడియో కూడా ఆన్ చేయలేదు.
కంటిన్యూ చేసేయండి లేదు.
Yeah, I think some technical problem. That's why nothing is just except his name, nothing is appearing there.
Now I request our ex-officio member of West Godavari district branch and Kakinada branches, SIRC member, and also our CICASA chairman, Prasanna Kumar, to address the gathering.
Chief guest of today's webinar on Code of Ethics, CA Manoj Fadnis, sir, President ICAI 2015-16. Our Central Council member, CA Prasanna Kumar Garu, Chairman of the 3 branches, CA Ramana Rao, CA Mohan, CA Kantipudi Satyanarayan Garu, my colleague CHENGAL Reddy Garu in the Regional Council, and all the members present this morning. Good morning to each one of you. Friends, Code of Ethics is one of the very important aspects of our profession, and this is one of the pillars of our profession and our activity. So in a sense, I think Institute has done good by making it a compulsory event of all the CPE hours, and for all the members to at least hear 2 hours in their CPE circle, in their CPE calendar. And I'm sure CM Manoj Fadnis, sir, who is having a very rich experience in the Institute and in the disciplinary mechanisms, and he has full knowledge on the subject. I'm sure we'll have a great learning today. I request all the members to please actively involve, participate, understand, and as our season also is about to begin, maybe once the website is on, income tax site is functioning well, I'm sure all of us will be very active in our professional work for next 6 months, definitely. So I would request all the members to keep all these important points in mind and ensure that we comply with them and not to get into any of those issues which will create trouble to us at later date. CA Prasanna has also been in the institute, and this is his third year. I'm sure he has seen a lot of latest disciplinary cases that are happening, and I'm sure he'll also share his rich experience in terms of hands-on experience, what is happening at the recent cases that are coming up and how the institute is looking at it with references to first schedule of the disciplinary code of ethics. And both of them, I'm sure, would enrich our knowledge and way we go about and conducting our professional work. Thank you, Chairman, for giving me this opportunity.
Now our another guest of honor, CA CHENGAL Reddy Garu, Regional Council member and ex-officio of Rajamahendravaram Branch, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Secretary Garu. The West Godavari Branch Chairman Ramanarao Garu, the other two branches Chairman Mohan and Kantipudi Satyanarayana, the secretaries of two branches Brahmanandam and the other this one. Today's our resource person as well as Honorable Past President of ICAI, CM Manoj Fadnis sir, our beloved Central Council member, CID Prasanna Kumar sir, my colleague in Regional Council, CM NARESH GELLI sir, the managing committee of all the three branches, as well as members and senior members, friends, managing committee members, and my dear friends. A pleasant good morning to each one of you. At the outset, I welcome you all to this today Code of Ethics meeting hosted by all the three branches jointly. It's a welcome move to host all the three branches jointly this Code of Ethics. I think when Ramanarao Garu requested with respect to the Code of Ethics, I suggested 2-3 names. Out of that, you choose one name, which is apt for inaugurated the West Godavari branch. It's an accidentally happened. I think Manoj Fadnis are having a rich experience. Definitely, he will throw some light on the Code of Ethics. With respect to the Prasanna sir, I think he started his career from branch to region as well as Central Council. Definitely, he will have most of the experience. Not only experience, most of the two Telugu states people will touch him whenever they will face any problem with respect to their personal this one. Definitely, he will give most of the insights. What are all the members are facing generally. Coming to the Code of Ethics, yes, absolutely, we have to comply with the following fundamental principles like integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, and professional behavior at all the times, at all the levels. I don't take much time. See, there are two stalwarts who are having more knowledge in professional ethics, like Manoj Fadnis sir as well as Prasanna sir. Definitely, they will enlighten us. We'll listen to them. Thanks for the coordination of this today topic on the Code of Ethics. My compliments to all the three branch chairmen. My sincere thanks to all the three branch chairmen for inviting me this today's seminar. Thank you very much, sir. Over to the secretary.
Chaitanya, you are not audible.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request our Vice Chairman and Secretary of Kakinada Branch, CA CVN Gangaram Garu, to address the gathering.
Sir, very good morning. Usual our Prasanna Kumar sir is there, and our NARESH GELLI sir and our CHENGAL Reddy sir are there. And very good morning, sir, to all of you. And today, actually, this subject is a very, very vast and depth subject, sir. It is day-to-day functions of our members, and it is really a critical. And I think our Prasanna Kumar is our head of this subject. Actually, he is dealing with the central level also. I'm very happy, sir. today we have to enjoy, and we will definitely enlighten our knowledge by sharing these views of our Fadnis sir. He is a expert in dealing with this subject, actually, sir. Thank you, sir. This is welcome to all our members on behalf of the Kakinada branch, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request B. Brahmanandarao Garu, Secretary, Rajamahendravaram Branch, to introduce the speaker of our day, that is CA Manoj Fadnis, our past president ICAI.
Am I audible, sir?
You're audible. You're audible.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And it's my pleasure in introducing our learned speaker and our past president of ICAI, CA Manoj Fadnis, sir. Mr. CF Manoj Fadnis, he passed his BCom from Indore University and qualified as a chartered accountant in January 1987. He holds diploma in Information System Audit (DISA). He has specialized in corporate accounting and reporting standards and direct taxes, corporate laws, and Foreign Exchange Management Act. Mr. CA Manoj Fadnis is the immediate past president of Confederation of Asian and Pacific Accountants, CAPA, a regional international organization of 32 professional institutes from 23 countries from Asia and Pacific region. He was elected as the president of our institute ICAI New Delhi for the year 2015-16 and as the vice president of the ICAI for the year 14-15. As president, he was the chairman of all the standing committees, disciplinary committee, and the board of discipline of the ICAI. He was also the non-executive director of the Insurance and Regulatory Development Authority of India, member of the National Direct Taxes Advisory Committee of the Central Board of Advisory Committee. He served as the chairman of the Public Sector Financial Management Committee of CAPA from November 15 to November 17. Presently, he is serving as independent director on the board of Federal Bank and serving as a chairman of Audit Committee. He is also on the board of other listed and non-listed companies. With this brief introduction, I invite our learned speaker to take up the session. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, please, sir. Manoj Fadnis, sir.
Thank you very much for that kind words. A very respected Central Council member, CAD Prasanna Kumar. It is great to see how our council members are functioning round the clock, and in spite of the pandemic, the wonderful things which our council has done. My compliments to you, sir, and to all the members of the Central Council. We are very proud of the 73rd Foundation Day, which we have just celebrated 2 days ago. And I'm sure we as a profession have a long, glorious career ahead. Our very distinguished regional council members, CA NARESH, GELLI, a very old friend of mine, and very good to see him again in this webinar today. And the person who roped me into this webinar today, a very dear, esteemed friend, CA CHENGAL Reddy. Whenever I visited Hyderabad, he was the first person I would meet at the airport. And he continued doing that even after I laid down my office as president. So very nice to meet you, CA CHENGAL Reddy, in this webinar. The chairman of the 3 branches in the Godavari district. As was mentioned, I had the privilege of being the president when these branches were formed. And I think the credit should go to 2 other gentlemen. Then Vice President, of course, CA Devaraj Reddy and CA J. Venkateshwarlu. Both of them were very keen that these branches should be formed so that the students and members in these areas can be better served. And therefore, I'm extremely delighted by this opportunity given by the 3 distinguished chairmen of these branches to address the members in this webinar. So, CA N.V. Ramana Rao, who has been coordinating with me for last several days, ensuring I get the Zoom link, my resume is obtained, the presentations and everything. Thank you very much, CA N.V. Ramana Rao. And of course, the 2 other chairmen of the branches, Kakinada branch, CA Kantipudi V.V. Satyanarayana and CA M. Mohan, chairman of Rajamahendravaram Branch. All the members of the managing committee, office bearers of the 3 branches, and above all, my esteemed friends, sisters, and brothers in the profession. It is a great occasion that we have just celebrated our 73rd Foundation Day. And in the CA week, as we call it, the three branches have organized this talk on the code of ethics. One of the matters which distinguishes a profession from a business is that the robust code of ethics which a profession has and which each professional is required to comply with. Friends, it is a matter of pride for us that our institute has been holding our ethical standards. We are fortunate to have such robust ethical standards right since 1949. All along, we have been seeing that before anything becomes a part of the law, the best ethical principles are imbibed in the code of ethics. And it is therefore that maybe certain things may be right legally, but may not be so right when you look at it ethically. So ethics, to my mind, are something over and above what is required in the law. And that is when we say compliance with law and spirit, letter and spirit. Compliance with letter may be only compliance with the law, but when we say you have complied in letter and spirit, you have actually complied ethically. When we call ourselves as chartered accountants, we should be reminded of the great virtues, values which we are supposed to be following and imbibing in ourselves. As you would be well aware, friends, when our we are fortunate that CA Act was passed by the Parliament even before the Constitution was adopted. 1st of July 1949, when CA Act became part of the law. When this the process of an extensive debate in the Constitutional Assembly as to why we should be given the title Chartered Accountants. And even before that, before this Constitutional Assembly, if you look at the history of our profession, even in 1935-36, when the Companies Act 1913 was to be amended, today we are talking about Companies Act 2013, but the original act is Companies Act 1913. And there was a section in that act which was with respect to governance of the profession of registered accountants, as we were called in those days. So there used to be a register, and in that register, the names of the members would be included. The names of the members would be included and would be called as.
వీలు ఇంపార్టెంట్ అది కరెక్ట్ అది ఆ లాజిక్ కొంచెం కరెక్ట్ అనిపిస్తుంది.
Sir, I am requesting, please mute, sir.
Friends, in the Parliament in that time, when the section of Companies Act 1913 was proposed to be amended, and the registered accountants had demanded that they should also be called as chartered accountants, because in those days only people who had qualified from the United Kingdom were permitted to be called as chartered accountants. And the government resisted. The government said these registered accountants cannot be called as chartered accountants. And it is thanks to the visionary forefathers who were there in that Constitution Assembly, who very vociferously argued. Govind Vallabh Pant was one of those parliamentarians who vociferously argued and said that if a person can do BA from India and BA from England, and the Indian university qualification is recognized as BA, which even in those days was a very big qualifications. Bachelor of Arts was a very big qualification. Even today, it is a well-recognized educational qualification. So they said, why cannot a person who has done similar exams in India not be recognized as a chartered accountant? So there is, as Mr. Prasanna Kumar also mentioned, it is independence, excellence, integrity. These are the objectives which are required when we talk about a chartered accountant. And there is a lot of faith and confidence reposed in the profession by the society. And it is for this reason that we are given this important task of certifying the truth and fairness of the financial statements. So when we look at all these, it is but natural that we should have a very robust code of ethics, which is dynamic, which is forward-looking, and which should meet the aspirations of the society and still be structured in such a way that it doesn't hamper the growth of the profession. So friends, what I would be discussing in today's session is matters relating to Code of Ethics Volume 1, which is benchmarked with the IFAT Code of Ethics, which is issued by the International Ethical Standards Board. And then I'll touch upon Volume 2, which contains our Code of Ethics, our Chartered Accountants Act, regulations, guidelines, and other directions of the Council. I leave it to our Honorable Council member to take us through the first schedule, which is where there are several changes brought in by the Council, and our sitting Council member would be best equipped to deal with those matters. But let me first take you through this Volume 1, which is the ISBA Code of Ethics. Now, friends, this Code of Ethics, which is benchmarked with 2018 edition of the International Code of Ethics. And it is a testimony to how forward-looking our council is, that soon in 2019, this council had issued compatible with the International Code of Ethics. 2018, the International Code of Ethics is issued. 2019, within 1 year, we have incorporated all those principles in our Code of Ethics and made it applicable from 1st of July 2020 in a staggered manner. Some of the important changes have been implemented. Some of the changes have been deferred for the time being. So we'll discuss those matters so that we are well prepared and equipped as and when those matters become applicable to us. So the International Code of Ethics is in 4 parts. And the 4th part is having 2 parts, Part 4A and Part 4B. So in a way, there are 5 parts in this International Code of Ethics. And believe me, friends, for an Indian chartered accountant, complying with the International Code of Ethics is very easy. Our code, what we have lived with, what we have been following since 1949, is far stringent, far more, it is far more demanding as compared to the International Code of Ethics. So, while it is necessary that we are seen as a global institution, a part of a global profession, and therefore it is necessary for us to say that we have also adopted the International Code of Ethics. But the practical side is, for an Indian chartered accountant, complying with this International Code of Ethics, as we will discuss some of the important aspects, is not difficult at all. So the Part 1 gives the fundamental principles, the conceptual framework of the Code of Ethics. Part 2 gives what is important for those who are in service. Part 3 deals with people like most of us who are present in this webinar, who are practicing chartered accountants. Internationally, there are different designations which are used to describe a chartered accountant. In India, we say we are chartered accountants. As you are aware, in US, Canada, and other countries, even the designation of certified public accountants is used, and so on and so forth. We have Institute of Cost Accountants in India, which is also part of the International Federation of Accountants, and they are called as cost accountants, or maybe cost and management accountants today. So the Global Code of Ethics uses the term professional accountants, which describes all of us. So when we talk about professional accountant in service, we are actually referring to a chartered accountant in service, and a professional accountant in public practice is what we are referring to us as those who are holding the COP. Now, there are several independence standards or principles which we are required to comply with, and they have been now put as a separate chapter. So 4A deals with audit and review engagements, and 4B deals with assurance engagements other than audit and review engagements. So, as chartered accountants, the most important service which we are rendering is the attest function, certifying the truth and fairness of the financial statements. And then we are also rendering so many other services which are part of management consultancy services or taxation services. But the crux of our standing is with respect to our audit and assurance services. So in relation to the audit and assurance services, globally, the ethical standards are more rigid. So there is a concept of non-assurance services. What are the other than audit services which you are rendering to an audit client? And that is where certain restrictions are there, both in the International Code of Ethics and also in our existing Code of Ethics and the law. So the Code of Ethics, structured into 5 parts, will deal with some of the important aspects contained in these International Code of Ethics. So part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4A and 4B contains the various details which I just mentioned, and it lists out those principles in relation to these categories. Then friends, this Code of Ethics is structured in a way that it brings out whenever a principle is to be put in, it gives an introduction to the principle. Then it lays down the requirement. So requirement is designated by R. And R means what is mandatory for us to comply with. And then after the requirement, there is an application material which is describing what is contained in that principle. So in a way, it is in a very lucid manner. The code is structured, easy to understand, and easy to distinguish what is the requirement, what is the principle, what is the important aspect, and what is the introductory part, and what is the application material in relation to that principle. So friends, once we look at this Code of Ethics, I would say there are 5 important substantive changes. Out of these 5, 2 have been made applicable by the Council from 1st of July 2020, and the remaining 3 are yet to be notified by the Council. It is important that we discuss these aspects also which are not applicable today, so we are ready as and when the Council decides to implement them. And the other thought process in the Council could have been that there should be more webinars, more education and awareness created on these principles before they are implemented. So in a webinar like this being organized by our 3 branches in the Godavari district, we would also spend time on these 3 principles which are not yet applicable, but which is important for us to be aware of. So the first is prohibition on management responsibilities to audit clients. That is, an audit client, what are the non-audit services I can render? And globally it is said we cannot take up the management responsibilities in relation to an audit client, because the auditee and the auditor have to have arm's length distance. So there are certain functions which the auditee has to perform on his own, and the auditor can come in to verify, to inspect, to audit, and to give an audit opinion. And therefore the auditor should not be doing